Welcome back to True Crime Time,
where the stories are fascinating
and the jokes are criminal.
I'm your host, Beth.
I'm your co-host, Tim.
This week we have something special planned. We're going to look at true crime through the century, starting this year in 1977.
That's right, we have an interview lined up with serial killer Ted Bundy, so make sure to stay tuned for that.
Next, we will be taking a look at Martha Beck and Raymond Fernandez, otherwise known as the Lonely Hearts Killers.
Then after that, we'll be talking about Clementine Barnabit, a cult member and mass murderer from 1911.
We will come back after this short commercial for our first story, that of Ted Bundy.
Hi, I'm Gary with Blank Auto of Glenwood Springs, Colorado. And I'm here to show you our wide selection of old cars, fast cars, new cars, and big old trucks. And I'm going to showcase this old beauty. She's got some rust and a little bit of miles on her, but she's top of the line. Look at this. She's got cloth seats, aftermarket stereo, and some Mountain Dew. I'd say she's worth around $3,000.
Hey, that's my car!
And as you can see, we go through inventory so fast here at Blank Auto, we don't even know what would be sold or not. So come on down. Our prices are steal. Welcome back to True Crime Time. In a few short moments, we'll be showing our exclusive interview with Ted Bundy.
His first arrest was made in 1975, and in 1976, just last year, he was found guilty for the kidnapping and murder of Karen Campbell, Melissa Smith, and Carol DeRange.
That's correct. He is currently being held in Garfield County Jail in Glenwood Springs, Colorado.
And now we will show the footage from the interview that our team member Meg had with him just yesterday afternoon.
Thank you, Beth. I'm here at Garfield County Jail in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, about to interview the infamous murderer, Ted Bundy. Thank you for meeting me today, Mr. Bundy.
Of course. I'm happy to be here. I'll be here all day.
So, for my first question, what was your childhood like?
Well, you see, I grew up in a very Christian home. There were no drugs or alcohol of any kind. And I was raised by my grandparents, which I think helped me be the person I am today. Just like them, I am kind.
So, what you're saying is that your childhood never affected your actions today?
Well, of course it influenced me. On Saturdays, I'd watch political ads instead of the cartoons. I think that definitely helps me pursue what I truly love, political campaigning. And my law degree definitely helps with that.
Mr. Bundy, do you believe you were innocent?
Indeed I do.
Well, on June 7th, you escaped prison. If you believe you were innocent, then why did you escape?
Well, I don't think an innocent man should be incarcerated for something he didn't do. And I have a family that's probably very anxious to see me.
So then, how do you dismiss all of the evidence found in your car? The handcuffs, the ice pick, the mask, the rope?
We all have our hobbies, I guess.
What about all the victim's hair in your car?
No comment.
Well, thank you for meeting me today. Back to you, Tim and Beth.
Wow, I would not want to get murdered by that guy.
Yeah, he reminds me too much of my ex-wife.
For our second murderer through the century, we will be discussing the Lonely Hearts Killers.
The Lonely Hearts Killers were a serial killer couple consisting of Raymond Fernandez and Martha Beck.
Fernandez was born on December 17, 1917. Everything about his life was pretty normal up until a head injury when a steel beam fell on him.
It is speculated that the beam hit his frontal lobe, causing mass amounts of brain damage, and reports from his friends after the accident suggested that his nature became a little bit more sporadic and violent.
A chief example of this is when he stole clothes from the hospital he was recovering in. He told police he wasn't really sure why he stole the clothes. He just did.
And this theft landed him in jail for about a year.
During this year, his cellmate converted him to believe in voodoo and black magic. He thought that voodoo gave him an irresistible charm over the ladies.
You know, some people say I have an irresistible charm over the ladies.
I don't think anybody says that, Tim.
So, Martha Beck. She was born on May 6, 1920, in Milton, Florida. It is said she had a glandular disease that caused her to be overweight.
This played a lot into Martha's sense of self-worth. It also did not help that her family allegedly abused her so badly that she ran away from home as a teenager.
When she was a young adult, she lived in California and had a job in a hospital. Then, after dating several men, she became pregnant.
She wanted to marry the man with whom she got pregnant with, but he refused. So she moved back to Florida and told her entire town that her husband had died in the war.
You know, a girlfriend of mine once told a whole town I had died. I didn't have to do my taxes that year, and the IRS still doesn't know.
Well, they will now.
Everyone in the town felt bad for her, so they helped her out a lot, and very soon she was able to land a job.
This is when Fernandez meets Martha.
Fernandez would place Lonely Hearts ads in the newspaper, and if someone was interested, they would write him back and set up a date. After that date, Fernandez would kill the woman.
They met because Martha wrote him a letter in response to the ad, and he answered. He didn't end up killing her, however, and she eventually fell in love with him.
He would visit her very often, driving all the way from New York down to Florida.
Beck started to tell everybody that they were married.
You know, one of my girlfriends told everyone that we were married. It was a very awkward situation. After I had it all cleared up, she ran off to Madagascar with her personal trainer.
Wow, Tim. Looks like you need to see a therapist. Now back to our show. Abruptly, Beck was fired from her job, so she packed her bags and she moved in with Fernandez in New York City.
While Beck was obsessed with Fernandez, Fernandez fell in love with Beck. He liked how she catered to his every whim, and soon included her in his murders. They were then arrested on March 1st, 1949 for the murder of Delphine Dowling and her 2-year-old child.
Fernandez confessed right away for a lighter sentence, but this didn't end up working as they were both given the death penalty. Then, on March 8th, 1951, they were both executed via electric chair.
And thus ends the story of the Lonely Hearts Killers. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Do you enjoy chomping down on a nice juicy burrito or wrapping yourself up in your favorite blanket? Well, I have news for you. Now you can enjoy both of those things all in one with the burrito blanket. The burrito blanket is made to look like a tortilla so you can be cozy whilst looking like your favorite snack at the same time. Burrito blanket, buy now.
Welcome back to True Crime Time.
For our very last murderer through the century, we will be going all the way back to 1911 with Clementine Barnabit.
She was believed to be born in 1894 to Raymond Barnabit and Nina Porter. Raymond was a very abusive father figure, abusing her whole family.
Not much else is known about her until she joined the cult Church of Sacrifice at age 17.
This is when the murders began.
Her method was always the same. Her murder weapon is always an axe, and her victims were always entire families.
At first, Clementine's father was the main suspect, and after his family testified against him, he was arrested.
However, during his trial, another murder took place, causing the police to suspect another person, Clementine.
They looked into Clementine and found one of the victim's jackets in her closet. At first, she denied all involvement with any of the murders, but then confessed to all 35. After being found guilty, she was sentenced to life in jail in Angola State Penitentiary. After that, she escaped in 1923.
Nobody is really quite sure where she went after that. She simply disappeared.
You know, a girlfriend disappeared on me once. She asked me to go to the grocery store, and I did. After that, I came home and she was gone. She took my car too. I still don't know where she is.
And that concludes our true crime segment. Tune in after this short commercial break to find out what we're doing next week.
I never leave home without my generic brand hydrogen peroxide. It does everything: clean, heal, and hydrate. It's cheap, it's affordable, it's hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide. Buy now.
Welcome back to True Crime Time.
We have just gotten word that Ted Bundy has escaped from prison.
That's right, just a few hours after our interview, Ted Bundy escaped prison. He had taken a car on Interstate 70 into the mountains. Right now the car is broken down and his whereabouts are unknown. Stay tuned for more developments.
Next week, we will be taking a look into the case of the Zodiac Killer. But until then, thank you for watching True Crime Time.
Hi, I'm Gary from Blank Auto, and as you can see, we have a returning suspect. This is the car that Ted Bundy used to get away from the police. I'm gonna drop the original price of this car from $12,000 right down to $3,000. So hurry up before the police realize that this is evidence.